Hi, everyone.
Hi, for the Wellness Inspiration, I'm Dr. Val.
And I'm Dr. Colleen, and we are your wellness guides.
We're going to do our best to come to you weekly, do our best, and give information to inspire you to change some things in your life and make things better and empower yourself. So we want you to be well, stay well, and be inspired. So for this episode, I'm going to interview Dr. Colleen Michelle about a topic that she is well versed on and certified in fasting for your health and your hormones.
All
Well,
right. I'm excited.
not very good.
You know, I love to talk about this.
I
So,
know. I know. So, Dr. Colleen has been teaching these classes on fasting for over 7 months now. And I, in March, started and did her first class with her. And I have to say that I think I've done pretty well.
you have.
Like,
You've done
I'm
really well.
pretty impressed with myself because I did not think that I can do it. So I didn't think she has been fast. How long have we been
Yeah, like
fasting?
12, 13 years.
Yeah, she's been fasting for a really long time. And she would come into the office and say, I'm not eating today. And it would make me crazy because I would bring food and do
Yes.
whatever.
Took you
And
a while to get to that. Are you eating
are
today?
you eating today? Because I brought food. So it was a long time. And we were both versed in nutrition for a very long time and teach it and do a lot of things with nutrition. So when she was like, I'm going to start my classes. And I said, I don't think that I can do it.
Yeah.
I had all these preconceived notions on fasting and saying, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to have a headache. You should do little meals and graze. And that's what the nutrition world
Right.
we were brought up with. So it was really hard to
Break
flip
your
that
mold.
switch or break that mold
Yeah.
or change your whole thinking about fasting. So I'm going to jump right in and ask the question.
Okay.
Okay. So talking about fasting versus starving. Like a lot of people that come into our office, and when we're doing some nutritional counseling, I have a new thing that you're starving yourself fat. So I talk to everybody about fasting versus starving. So tell me, what is the difference in the fasting world about starving yourself
Right.
and fasting? What's the difference?
So first off, starving is not giving your body enough nutrients and macronutrients, which is carbohydrates, proteins, and fat, on an extended basis. So many people, like especially when we start working with them in the office and we start realizing, and Dr. Val goes over a lot of their food journals, and you realize they're not eating enough calories. So over time, you're starving yourself of nutrients, macronutrients, and micronutrients that are in the food, all your vitamins and minerals and stuff. So that creates problems, and your metabolism can slow down from that because that's a long-term thing. And then the scale doesn't move, and then you kind of restrict yourself even more. It's like a vicious cycle. Fasting is just a different time frame of eating. So if you're going to eat a couple meals a day, you only want to eat them in a smaller window of time. So it's a window of eating and a window of not eating. And what you do with regular intermittent fasting over time is you want to extend the not eating window and have a smaller eating window.
Okay.
But you still want to fit the majority of your calories in, which can be a little difficult sometimes, but you don't want to then only eat 500 calories in a couple meals. You have to eat enough calories so you support your body's normal activities that you're doing.
So what do you tell people that are starting out, like I was starting out, and saying that I'm going to get a headache, I'm going to be sick, get stomach aches and stuff like that?
Well, there's lots of different things to do, but I got to say, one of the biggest things that I've like learned or experienced with this is a lot of people think it's going to be so hard and they're going to have all those experiences, and they really don't.
True.
I've been very much acutely aware of coaching people in that way so that doesn't happen, but it just doesn't happen really. People aren't like, oh my gosh, I have this horrible head. It's not happening.
It didn't happen to me.
But there are little hacks and things that I teach to make sure that you're eating enough and you're getting enough electrolytes and all the things your body needs. And I also start people out with the program, it's a baby step. Like this isn't, some people can jump in and just fast for a whole 24 hours, but I don't recommend that. And if you do this in a slow, controlled, progressive way, you're not going to have those kinds of symptoms. Your body's going to start adapting.
Okay, so what's the difference between intermittent fasting and extended fasting? Because everybody's like, oh, I intermittent fast.
Yeah.
I intermittent fast. I got this. I know how to do it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, no, you don't, because I have a nutrition background and I didn't know how to do it until she showed me how to do it, till she guided me. And I still ask her questions, and I've been doing it since March. So, I've been fasting for 7 months. So I've been, trying to balance it in my life, but just say the difference, because every intermittent fasting is out there for,
it's kind of
it's really out there like a big fad right now.
Yeah. But it's been around forever. Fasting's been part of all our cultures, religions. There's many ways that it's happening. And a typical intermittent fast, like I said, is just a daily window of eating and not eating. It's more of a lifestyle, a routine that you're into. But then extended fasting, and let me go back. So the intermittent fasting is typically like a 12, 13, 14, even most people fall into a 16-hour where they don't eat for 16 hours, but they fit their meals into an 8-hour window. That's how you get your 24 hours. And there's a lot of ways to do that. That's why we want to make sure what it's right for you. But extended fasting is more therapeutic. And intermittent fasting, why would you do that? Why are people doing all this? Is because intermittent fasting in general is going to give your body a break from processing food. When you do small meals and you're eating all the time, you're constantly digesting, and you don't give your body a chance to do other things. Right. It's got to go back to the digesting, processing the food. And a lot of people have a lot of intestinal problems and stuff, stomach problems, where if you give that system a break, you give your whole body a break with digesting and processing, then it can repair itself.
All right, so how about females with the bloating and the belly stuff?
It's a very common thing where you need to give your body a break. And when women are doing this, where they're constantly eating little meals and stuff like that, you're never giving your digestion a break. So the extended fast is what comes in when you want to have other specific results. Like, of course, intermittent fasting, you're going to start losing some weight. You're going to probably start just feeling a little bit better. It helps with inflammation, where your body just lost 20 pounds. It's done great. Extended fasting, and this is what I help people. My Jumpstart program is literally to get you to the point where you understand fasting. You're doing it progressively and properly. You're getting results from it. But now it's for you, as opposed to me or anyone else. We're going to have different reasons why we might want to extend the fast, because we have different goals that we want to get to. Maybe yours is stomach problems. So if you fast for 24 hours or a little longer, your stomach starts creating new stem cells in your intestinal system. That helps heal a lot of things. If you've got blood sugar problems and insulin problems, which like 90% of the population have some form of insulin resistance. So when you go to different levels into 30 or 36 hours, you're really healing other systems of your body. And then there's other things like terms that a lot of people don't know about: ketosis, which is part of fasting, or a keto diet, which a lot of people know about. And it's similar. It's low carb that allows your body to go into that another form of burning fuel.
Okay, we'll talk about that, but I want to ask another question in this. How often should you fast?
Well, many people can totally do, a daily intermittent fasting kind of thing. I recommend, when people are starting out with this, to take a day off. So if you wanted to do a 16-8 most of the days, 4 or 5 days a week, take a day off. But if you do have goals where I really want to lose 30 pounds or whatever, you can push yourself, and you can do 4 days of intermittent fasting, and then 1 day a week, you push yourself to 18 hours, 20 hours or further. So like I said, it's kind of based on your goals of what you're trying to do. And that's what I help people with, is figure that out, is, what's a good plan for them. And then there's maintenance stuff. If you just want to do it because you know how good you feel and it's helping some other things, then you can do a maintenance.
So building up and then actually doing it like once or twice a week.
Yes.
That
an extended fast if you have those goals that you want to. But you you should be working to a 16-hour, at least 16 to 18 hours
I've
is the sweet
So
spot.
my question to you is how funny that you found people so easily doing a 20-hour
Yeah, because
in the
in the
beginning,
beginning, I was only
telling
encouraging
people
people
to,
to do, the work up to a 16-hour fast. But so many people don't even realize that they kind of naturally fast already. So hitting 16 hours was nothing. And the not this last time, but the time before, I had somebody do like the second weekend. She's like, I'm doing a 36-hour fast. I'm like, I'm not recommending that. Like I don't want you to push yourself to do something because you think more is not always better, right? We don't
okay,
want to create a problem. You can push yourself into a little healing crisis. There's something called like the keto flu where it's a part, you're going to detox with
right.
fasting too. So we want to do it. I teach it so it's a slow progression. So you're not shocking your system. Some people do it in a shocking way.
And she has little hacks that help you get over like the hunger pains and
Yeah.
stuff like that. She
Yeah.
gives you little hacks and
There's
stuff.
a lot of nuance to fasting.
Okay. So now I'm going to get into my favorite things because since you taught me this, I kind of tell everybody the situation when I'm doing my nutrition.
Mm.
What's the difference? We have two switches in our body and two ways of burning fat and sugar. So tell me about your fat burning switch versus your sugar burning switch.
Okay. So yes, we have different ways that our body has instinctually or ancestrally burned fuel. So back in the days, we, didn't have food available 24/7 like we do now. So we absolutely went through periods of feast or famine. So feasting and eating and utilizing, breaking down your food is what we call the sugar burner, because most everything gets broken down into sugar, to glucose. That's what your body uses to run itself, creating energy. But we also have the other system that's a fat burning system, which is our backup, our fail safe. And to be naturally healthy, you should be able to go between those two systems without a problem. But most of us, our switch is very broken. So we can't move back and forth. And that's why people could have some struggles in the beginning, because when you're pushing yourself further, your metabolism is really not healthy. It's not functioning super well. So you're not moving over into a fat burning state so easily.
Okay.
And that's why we want to ease into it and kind of keep pushing the envelope.
How
So
long does it take?
everyone's really kind of different. Some people can get into us, and when you're in your fat burning state and humming in there, and that's working right, you're in what's called ketosis. You're burning fat. Your fat is creating ketones, which are another form of energy. So everyone's a little different. So
Yeah, I've been doing it for 7 months and I haven't hit my fat burning yet.
you haven't
No, I've always
never told me that.
no, I do the little
Yeah, there's test strips that you can,
test strips and
and you're
stuff.
still in
I'm
trace.
still in. I'm like almost there.
Okay,
I'm
so
not.
you're still burning.
I think I need to do like a longer. I
Right.
mean, I've done 36 hours. But I haven't done. I did a 40 once,
Yeah, you did.
and then I had to break it because it was a lot because I was under a lot of stress. And I have to tell you, the other thing is, she would say to me, "Don't start it now because you've got too much stress going on," and you're like, "Don't start now because you." I actually feel better with my stress levels when I am fasting.
Yes, and that's because fasting, when you get a little longer into it, and your body becomes more efficient. So you might not need those longer fasts when your switch gets more efficient, but you also create a lot of other like positive brain chemicals and things. So it's very good for our mental health, for our stress and stuff. But some people, it's too much. Like, I don't want people um to push themselves when they might not be ready for it. That's my only caution with
Okay.
everyone.
All right. Okay. So when you are fasting, are there food restrictions?
No, actually, that's one of the cool things about fasting is you can follow whatever, diet you feel works for you, whether you do ketogenic. You might get better results if you're doing a lower carb type thing.
You could still
You
eat
could,
carbs and
yeah,
stuff
you
like
don't have
that.
to follow a specific diet, and I would honestly I wouldn't recommend being really low calorie. That's the whole thing. What I said in the beginning is you need to eat enough calories, like kind of like 1,200 calories is a bit of a minimum for our bodies to function normally. So for our thyroid and for different things, because you don't want to starve yourself or not eat and then not give your body what it needs. So you can eat almost anything you want, because you're just going to support yourself in that. And then it's the times when you're in that not eating stage, that's when your body has time to heal. So I just was talking to a patient yesterday, and she looked great, and she's been doing the intermittent fasting and stuff. And I feel like she's been doing it maybe 3 or 4 months at this point now, but she's humming. She's humming. Like she has like her routine, her metabolism is going, it's easier. It becomes a part of your lifestyle. And you can take breaks from it, you can go back to it. You're not following some restricted diet that is hard to stick to. There's a lot of flexibility with fasting.
That's great. It is. It's true. Yeah. I'm the perfect example of it. Also, what about exercise? I heard I have exercise, with the fasting, and gone to the gym, but I've heard from a lot of people that you really shouldn't do heavy exercise while you're fasting. What do you feel about that? Okay.
You can
Well, some
exercise.
people think they know a lot more
Yeah,
than they actually
and you know what
know.
else? A lot of people think that fasting you're going to lose muscle, and there's like so much research that shows that you don't lose your muscle. You actually support it, and you maintain on muscle. But there's different stages of fasting. When you're transitioning into different parts of your body functioning, and if you don't switch too well, you might struggle with some exercise. But it actually, like good walking, things like that, help the process of fasting, helps you process getting your body to burn the sugar, and now we can go over into fat. It's helpful, and you can lift weights and you can run, like you learn what's good for you and
What
how you feel
about
too.
your energy levels?
um there's, like I said just now, there's ways sometimes where you're that switch. Sometimes you might feel a little tired, but when you move over and you're actually burning some ketones, I call ketones like jet fuel. You have a lot of energy. It's very supportive for your brain. So I'm usually like kind of like bouncing off the
Hyper.
walls. Yeah, I just have a lot of energy. And I'll say this: when I used to fast on my own before I did my certification and stuff, I wouldn't sleep, and that's often a reason why I would do it for a bit and I would walk away from it because I wasn't sleeping. But I also was eating very low carb and different things like that. So I learned to make sure that I'm eating enough food and eating, some carbs and stuff. And now I sleep amazing when I just did a 48-hour fast Tuesday and Wednesday and broke it last night.
You're good.
So, and I haven't eaten anything today, and it's late in the evening already. So, but I know what I'm doing, and I know how and what I can do. And let me just say this. So, men and postmenopausal women can fast kind of similarly. But if you're younger and you're a woman who's still cycling, or you're kind of getting perimenopausal, you really should be following more of a system that goes along with your cycle, because our estrogen, progesterone, and stuff, those fluctuations could make fasting a lot harder. So women who muscle through, but I have to fast all the, this is what I'm doing now, they can make it really hard on themselves and kind of, hurt their systems a bit because they're pushing through a period of time where they probably should not fast. And it's not a long time, but you want to honor your hormonal shifts. And that's what I also work through with people.
So that's why people who just say, oh, I intermittent fast. I don't eat for 12, 13 hours and then I eat and then I don't, but they're not really working their hormones correctly. So
Right.
You show how, which is great, because that's my next question is, tell me about your group meetings. Tell me about your fasting classes.
Mm-hmm. So it's called Jumpstart into fasting, because that's truly what I'm trying to do with everyone. So I do, online group Zooms. It's not an in the office kind of thing, so anybody can come to them. I have a very involved workbook that gives a lot of information, and I'm just teaching you what and why and how, and I'm helping you along the way. So in that group program, I do have one-on-one session with everyone that's in the group. That way I know who you are, what your issues are, what your goals are specifically that maybe you don't want to share in a group setting also. And then I can guide you through that. So there's a lot of back and forth information where I make sure that I'm checking on everyone. And that's where, like, I was in the beginning when I started this, I really thought, I was going to check on people and they were going to be like, oh, I feel horrible today. They're like, I feel amazing. I can't believe how great I feel. So that's the coolest part for me of all of this, is just seeing everybody get through that. But it's a 4-week program that I'm doing, and I kind of hold your hand. So, and even if you think like you've been intermittent fasting, I'm going to help you understand, why and how to do things a little differently, and make sure you're getting the best results. Val and I work really hard on making sure that you're getting results. That's really what we want, because we want to be your guides. We want to help you. But in the end, if you're not getting results, right, we want to drill down into that and find out, what else can be changed, what can be modified.
It's just like healthcare, weight loss, fat loss is individual. Mm-hmm. It's not so cookie cutter. So people who just, to me, and I've expressed this to her too, people who just say, I intermittent fast, I know how to do it, I've been intermittent fasting for years, and I'm this and that, they're not being kind to it's a general overview. It's not specific. What she does differently is it's specific for you to help you know why you're doing it. And I know that once we know better, we do better. So once we know why, so once we know why, and you understand why the fast, that's what was the best for me, is I understood why, and I understood between the two switches, and I understood everything that she was explaining to me. And I go back and use that workbook, and I go back and look through the calendar, and I go back and figure out how I'm going to plan my week to go out to dinner with my girlfriends, to do something with my fiance. And, if I'm going to eat something, I'll figure it out what to eat to help. And I have to say that in the beginning, I was having difficulty coming off the big fasts and eating, because I was making like classic mistakes, which she goes over. Right. So I don't want to get into my classic mistakes, because I don't want you to do it. But I was making classic mistakes coming off of a huge, like, I started out slow. I did it slow because I wasn't sure that I can do it. Mm-hmm. So I did take it like a 12-hour, a 14-hour, a 16-hour, a 20-hour. And then the largest one that I did was almost 40 hours. But when I came off it, I came off it wrong. And I had stomach aches for like 3 days.
Yeah. So those are all the nuances about it, like where everyone just thinks I just didn't eat, and now I can eat whatever I want. You can to some degree, but there's a process that you should go through to honor your system, to honor your digestion and help it, and get the best benefit out of it also. Because if you just didn't eat for 20 hours and now you're like, man, I'm going to McDonald's, that's going to be a bad idea for your body overall. Then you're going to be like, I just wasted all that time. And I like to also think there's ways for you to get to your goals. Fasting's not the only way to do that. But I find that fasting, when you kind of get the groove of it and it's part of your lifestyle, it's one of the easiest ways. So to lose weight, to get autophagy, which is another level of fasting that helps you repair your body and helps with inflammation, you can do a lot of other things that might take weeks or months, that a 3-day fast could really make a huge difference in your life.
I'm working up to it. I haven't been up to the 3-day fast yet.
And I also have a 3-day water fast program and stuff too.
I really do that. Yeah, I haven't. But
again,
I'm not mentally prepared for that yet.
And it's not something that I would recommend people do right away. Like, get used to fasting. If you've done it and you feel like you kind of understand and you know how you feel, you could push yourself. And that's, everybody's different on how much you can push.
All right. So when's the next one?
Next week, I'm starting a new one. So go to our website. It's thewellnessinspiration.net, and the information's there, and you can sign up, on the homepage, and then it'll take you to where you need to go.
Cool.
There's more information on the website too of all the other things that we do and have in the office.
So we hope this helps. We hope you get a basic understanding. We're going to be coming and doing these interactive things. So right now it's just the two of us, but soon we may be engaging with you. It's where you can ask us questions and see how that all goes too. So look for our next episode, which will be coming sometime next week. And it was great spending time with you. Thanks for the information.
You're welcome. You know, I can talk forever about it. So bye, everyone.
Bye.